The quotient of two numbers is obtained when you have one number and you divide it by another number. Now, to actually do this division, you can use long division, you can use your calculator, you can use whatever you need to use, but basically you just divide two numbers to get your quotient. So let's look at some terminology. To write division, you can either use a bar, like you can say 6 divided by 2 equals 3, or you can use this division symbol here where we say 6 divided by 2 equals 3. With our algebra class and moving forward from here, we're going to try to stay away from this notation as much as possible. We'll start using this notation more frequently. This notation here at the bottom is totally valid. There's nothing incorrect about it. It's just we're going to prefer to use this one going forward. Now, there's also some vocabulary associated with this notation here. As we said earlier, this quotient here, the division of 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. 3 is called the quotient of 6 and 2. Now, we also have names for the number 6 and the number 2 as well. For the number 6, this is called the dividend, and 2 is called the divisor. So the divisor is the number that divides into the dividend, and then when you divide them, if you get a whole number, the answer is called the quotient. All right, now we also have to deal with the sign issue, positives or negatives divided by positives or negatives. So here's the rules for those. If you have a positive number divided by a positive number, your answer will be a positive number. If you have a positive divided by a negative, your answer will be negative. If you have a negative divided by a positive, your answer is still negative. And a negative divided by a negative, your answer will be positive. So these two will be positive either if you have no negatives or two negatives, and your answer will be negative if you just have a single negative value. So let's put this all together. Let's see if we can do this here. If the quotient is small enough, we can just do this in our head. If it's too big, we might need to resort to long division. So let's try a few here. Let's say we had negative 55 divided by 11. Well, I know 55 divided by 11 is 5, and we're going to make this answer negative because it was a negative divided by a positive. So that's how you handle the sign at the end. All right, let's say we had 21 divided by 7. These are both positive, and I know 21 divided by 7 is 3, and this will be a positive 3. Let's say I had 45 divided by negative 3, for example. Well, 45 divided by 3, if you can do this in your head, you may know that this is 15. And this answer will be negative because you have a positive divided by a negative. But let's say, for example, you did not know that 45 divided by 3 was 15. What could you do? Well, here's where you would turn to long division. So for long division, you put this division symbol here. Inside of here goes the dividend. On the outside goes the divisor, and then the quotient appears on the top of the division symbol. So it would look something like this. We have 45 as our dividend, and we have 3 as our divisor, and the game goes like this. You say, what times 3 gets you as close to 4 as you can? We're just dealing with the tens digit right now. What times 3 gets you up to 10 without going over? Well, I think 1 times 3 will give you 3, and that won't go over. If you had 2 times 3, you get 6, which would be too much. So this stays under 4, and when we multiply 1 times 3, we put that product here, and then we subtract. And 4 minus 3 gives us 1. And then you bring down the next digit, so this will be a 5. And then you ask yourself again, what times 3 would give you 15? And the answer is 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So we take a 5. 5 times 3 is 15. We subtract these. There's no remainder. 3 goes into 45 evenly 15 times. So if you're pretty good with your division facts, then many times you can just do this in your head. And but if you can't, you can always go back and use long division.